Welcome to the Seven Crosses series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we are picking up the series on the 2nd of September 1954. Now the focus of this video is going to be trying to think of ways to restructure the economy so that we can start to expand into our coal production area. But before that, as usual, a big thank you for your comments and feedback. You guys give me so much to think about. One comment was very interesting. This comes from Ancop FTW, who said that in Russia, linen is very much a common fabric, and that gives justification for this fabric factory here producing, well, fabric. And I was very intrigued by that because in the UK, fabric is normally associated with high-end suits and shirts and bed linen. So I actually did a little bit of research on this, and it seems linen has been around a lot longer than most other fabric materials. In fact, it's got a history of nearly 6,000 years, and it wasn't until the was it the 1800s when cotton started to be grown on a very large economic scale that cotton finally started to take over from linen. In fact, quite often in the past, especially I think it was in America, it was quite common for farmers in remote areas to have a patch of flax which was then used to produce linen cloth. And I must admit, I'm quite intrigued with that idea. And this is one of the reasons why I like playing games like Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, because you run into things that you would never normally think about in normal, in your normal life, and then you start to look at it and you learn things that not just about industry and economy, but like the histories of other countries. Anyway, that aside, what I want to do is a couple of things. The first one is I really want to get my production up in this farm, so I'm going to take a little bit of a chance here, and I'm going to pick up one of you and send you back to here, and then we're going to buy another combine harvester. So this is like going to be a micro managed version of getting more production from this farming area. So we're going to send you up there. Hopefully he's going to get up there quick enough to be able to start harvesting these fields here, because I'm pretty sure these fields are ready to go. It's just that we don't have enough harvesters. So that's one thing I want to do. The other thing also, I think I need to take a chance here with respect to the cattle. And I think this is the one, isn't it? Knife's Edge. Yeah. And what we're going to do is we're going to export food, and we're just going to drop that down to about 60%. I'm hoping that will give me the income I need to get this economy up and running, because I think that's what I really need to do at the moment, to be able to expand out this way. Because I think the key has got to be getting a town out here that will get some coal production online, and then if I get some coal production going, we might be able to build a power plant, which will then kind of reduce my costs for the moment, because at the moment it's costing me well, a bit more than that. And of course that cost of the power will increase. Also, I mean, we'll be able to export power as well. In fact, I just need to do something before I keep talking. I need to send the excavator from here. Oh, we've only got the one excavator. Okay, we have to be a little bit careful here, because this is finished, and what I would like to do is sort out this area here. I just noticed this is like a little bit of a dip here. I'm just wondering if I could be a bit cheeky here. No, it's not really high enough for, so we're gonna have to try and get over. Yeah, this is like a bump in the ground, isn't it? Don't really want a tunnel. In fact, I'm kind of thinking that, could I get away with not building a bridge here? And then that would make it cheaper, and then I wouldn't need to bring the excavator up here. I think what we'll do is we'll try and get a bridge over here. If it gets too complicated, then I'll just go for a straight crossing. Let's just speed the game up a little bit. We're in a little bit of stagnation at the moment. Now what I would like to do is get this second agro farm up and running so that I can expand and get all these fields in, and we can get the crops from here. And I think if we can get as much crops from here on both sides, and possibly a few extra fields like another big field up here, what we will be able to do is start to get the crops which will allow me to, one, possibly sell fabric, more importantly sell more food and fuel, just to try and get this economy going forward. Now another focus I would like to do is what I've talked about in previous videos. We do need to get this conveyor belt system finished so that I can release a dumper which I can then send up to here, so that we can get even more quarry stone down into here so that we can keep the economy going. I mean, accommodation wise we're okay. The other thing I would like to find is, where is the double hauler truck? Where are you? You're empty. Okay, what we're going to do is I want to send you to depot as well, because you're just about to go back onto your winter duties of shifting the logs, because the heating plant here just isn't hacking it. Wondering whether, how much money am I making from boards exports? I think eventually we're going to have to kind of shut down the board production exports for a little while as well. And let me just see. Everything I need to keep an eye on is the amount of my crop storage. I would certainly like to get one or more of these silos up and running. Actually, let me just... winter's coming. I think what I'd like to do is get that and that built, and of course we're assigned the construction office to, I don't know why I keep doing that. We can do it this way. It's very much like the new construction office has got its auto detect on, so we're just gonna add you there. Just turn you off. Auto detect. Okay. Why is that saying? No, that's it. It's fixed. I'm just going to pause the game because I think I'm going to want to work on here, and I don't want the game to run away with me. And we'll just see if we can do the rail bridge here. I'm a little bit worried that this may not actually work. We're going to have to try and raise the ground here. It is quite slopey. Look at that. Wow. I think we are going to try for a tunnel. But to do that, I'm going to need to... I think the tunnel might be the better option. But what we're going to have to do is go down. The track's still in there. A few bits of track in there. But what I would like to do is get this as low as possible on this side. And while I'm doing this, I want to talk a little bit about Community Report 30, which was released on the 18th of July 2021, if you're watching this in the future. One of the big changes that was announced in that community report is the fact that they are changing the UI. I must admit, I do like the idea, and as somebody pointed out in the comments on that video, the current interface has got a little bit cluttered, as it hasn't been able to adapt that well towards the various bits and pieces that have been added. Now, if anyone is not too sure what the changes are, what they've done is they've reconfigured this bar at the top, taken away a lot of these additional menus here, and then added some extra information like the amount of population, happiness, food along the top here. The right hand side is okay. Then down the left hand side, a lot of things like the economy, I think it's list of vehicles, mods is down the left hand side, including the settings to let you quit from the game. And what they've done is put a color-coded toolbar across the bottom. that's got all these different options here. So instead of like at the moment where you've got to go in and click here for one group and then another group, and somebody pointed out in the comments, you've got to remember where things are. What they've done is group things together in a bit of a logical sense across the bottom. Now my big concern with that change is going to be how the mods are going to work out. I suppose we're just going to have to try and find out the best we can. Let me just, if I can get this in a little bit closer. Let's just see, because we're going to need to get like a double tunnel under here. That. That's brilliant. And this is where the game tells me it won't connect. And then what we can do is just sneak this out this way. Like that. Then we'll just accept that. Just going to unpause the game, and we're just going to send the excavator back to the construction office because I want him to do some work during the winter. Now the only long distance job I want running is going to be this one here, and what I want to do is try and keep the work local, like laying the asphalt here. How much would we want here? That's going to be 81 tons of steel. I think at the moment I want to keep the, actually let's do the groundworks. I think if we can, if I assign that and that, but what we'll do is just try and get the groundworks done. We're only on the 18th of September and we've already got the harvesters down here. Got helicopters in 1953. What is this then? This is the G-31. That I would guess that is not, maybe not a Soviet helicopter. It might be a NATO helicopter, but don't quote me on that because I know very little about helicopters. Kind of playing with the idea, can I get assign another field here ready for next season, so I remember. So we got this one running there. I think we've cleared most of this out here. Got 367 tons of crops in there. Got 424. How's my economy going? Exports. Yeah, so we are now making a little bit more food-wise. Now I'm only going to do food up until probably the middle of October, and then I'm going to stop because what I'm effectively doing is causing a potential problem for later on. Now accommodation-wise, I think we're pretty good. We've got this accommodation being built here. I'd really like to get this finished, and then what I'd be able to do is move people out. And the other thing I'm also hoping is that what we can do is pull the livestock across into here, so we're going to actually produce more meat, because meat actually makes more money than prices. Meat actually is worth twice the amount of livestock, and I think to produce the livestock we get what's the consumption? So you can see we get, for 2 livestock and 2 tons of wood, we get 1.6 tons of meat, which is probably means that meat is marginally more profitable than livestock. Population wise, the population is growing slowly. You can see at the moment we're getting escapees again. I'm not exactly sure what's, I think the problem is lack of health. Kind of part of me says that maybe I need to put a little bit of meat into the population to make them a little bit happier. At the same time, I don't want the population to grow too quickly. I want to keep these towns relatively small at the moment. So what I would like to have is a town of probably under 2,000 here, and then another town of over 2,000. I don't want the population to run away too much, because I think it could give problems. Right, this truck over here would be there. We get you on. We've got piles of logs here, so I'm going to deliver more wood actually, and you're going to deliver wood to there. Because I want some kind of heating here because we got about 100 people living in here. Although at the moment they're very happy, or 66 living in there. I don't think we got anybody living in these at the moment. I'm trying to keep most of the population in these small towns. In fact, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to move a couple of into there so that this population drops down a little bit. In fact, I'm just going to move out a few more for the winter. How we got fuel wise? Why is my fuel going down? What am I popping up with fuel? I'm not aware that I'm using the fuel up. Now the next thing I want to do is get a fire station out here, functional, but I'm not sure how much fire trucks are going to cost me. 1953. It's going to cost me 7,000 for a fire truck. I think we can go for it. The only problem is I'm also going to need a bus to take the workers out. In fact, I think we're by the bus as well. It's only a big, small. How's the staffing in here? Yeah, it doesn't tell me. I think what we'll do is we'll go with the Zeiss 8 because it's got 20 passengers on it. And we've got 40. I mean, we're getting some better buses here. I think we'll get one of those. I mean, this is quite literally fire insurance. I think we'll put you onto this one. Job is to pick up workers. And you're just going to drop them directly into there. I can't afford this to burn down, so I think having at least maybe one, eventually two fire trucks out here is going to make quite a big difference. Hey, where are you going? So we've now got these fields started. So it looks like we're going to get virtually all the crops in from my farms, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Although we haven't got another harvester currently working on this farm, and we don't really have that many workers. So what I really need is another harvester here, but eventually one of these will finish and then they will pick up this field here. So we got a harvester working really hard here. And we've got 460 tons in there. Who stopped production? Oh, I can always guarantee it. It's this. It's going to keep everybody happy. We get any surplus of meat here? Not really. Okay. How are we doing down here with the coal production? Well, I think we're doing okay here. And I wouldn't mind getting that built so that we could get... Obviously these guys are working hard in relation to this. As part of me says that what I should have is another one of these running. To do that, we'd need to connect this up. Because let me just see, charcoal kilns, that would come under factories, wouldn't it? Okay, it's producing charcoal, or coal actually, isn't it? Not charcoal. What am I on about? That's coal ore. We could get another one there. Actually, we could put it that way round. The only problem would be workforce, wouldn't it? Because we'd have to put in some kind of footbridge. I think at the moment we're just going to hold off on that. What I might do, this only needs 10 tons of steel. How many jobs have you guys got? I think we're going to get that built as well. Right, we need 7.6 tons of steel. So we're just going to have to keep plugging away at the moment. I'm a bit worried about the money. Especially it's the fact that I need to think about shutting down. We've got our fire coverage. Brilliant. I must admit, I'm quite like these tunnels. And it does make life a little bit easier. True, making the tunnel is going to be expensive, but at the same time, this tunnel, and of course we're going to need prefabs. But the idea is that once we got the coal out here, we can start thinking about maybe getting some prefab production going over this way, or we can produce the cement, which will allow us then to set up some prefab production over here. Actually, what do we need for making prefabs? Almost forgotten what it is. Cement plant, prefab factory. So we need gravel and cement to make prefab panels. So really, if we're going to make prefabs, we need to make them over here with some form of connection to this area here. Is that something to think about? Actually, I think what I might do is if we pick up a gravel road here, trim off this bit here, and take you out like that. Maybe a smidge further, it's about there. And we got gravel production there. Global markets, oil. Don't think I want a big prefab factory. Let me just see what we can get. A small cement plant. Yeah, it's a small panel factory. What we'd need to do is put it in, say, about here, although we're gonna have to extend the power supply. Or is there any way I can put this? Actually, we could put it there, couldn't we? Say, it'd be really brilliant if I could put it. We've got power lines everywhere here, but if I could put it, we could extend the conveyor there. Got any other conveyor extensions? I mean, that would be an ideal location, but we would need to find some way to. That would have a connection to there. The only downside is this doesn't have a connection. We could put that there. We need a free excavator. Okay, I think what we can do is try and get a prefab factory in here, or possibly out here, because eventually we're going to need to get this online. So what we might be able to do is put in a, well, we got gravel there, and another large aggregate storage here. Because another thing I need to consider out here is some aggregate loading for railways. So let me just see. My instinct would be to load directly from the terminal like that. So what we'll have is one gravel store, or the alternative is that I come out this way and we have a combination of conveyors coming out this way, which then connect up, and one could be the cement factory and one could be the what we call it, the rail gravel loader. And then, in fact, I wouldn't mind two of them, because we're going to be shipping a lot of gravel around the map. But again, I think that's something I need to work on in the future. What we need to do now is just try and get this all put together. Right, we've nearly finished this one, so we're going to now need to move on this one, which is going to need another 30 tons. This is painful. And of course, we're going to be losing a little bit of money now because I've stopped the food export, so I should have stopped. Yeah, we have to stop this now. So we're going to have to be a little bit more careful with respect to what we're bringing in now. Right, so we've got, it looks very much like we will get a really good proportion of these crops into what we got left on this farm and this one over here. So we're about halfway through, so I would say that we've probably got about another 150 tons to get from there. And so we've got just under about another 200 tons to get into this here. So we've got 540 tons in there. 354 in there and 639 there, so we'll have to depend on the alcohol exports, and then we're just going to have to be very, very careful with respect to the money, and then we'll see if we can get through another winter. Looks like we got a little bit of a footpath there, which probably needs to be done by these guys. So you can get out and get this done. How's the road going out here? I mean, this is very much a long range project. So we've still got another 97 tons. So once we've got this built out here, we can start planning our new town. I think we have to be a bit careful with the asphalt. So I think it's asphalt that's probably drawing the money down. Right, this field's nearly finished. So I think for the first time we're actually going to get all our crops in and we'll get no losses. And it's encouraging that we're on this field on the 7th of November. If we can get into this habit of flipping the harvesters and the tractors, we might be able to get more out of this until we can build this. Check this again. We've only got the one fire crew here, but they should be able to fend off the worst here. Right, this guy is nearly finished. Let's get him on the next one. Be really glad to get these conveyors done. Actually, I think at the moment, because money's a bit tight, we're going to go for a cheap connection first, which is going to be only 3 tons of mechanical components and 15 tons of steel. So we'll kind of work our way back towards this one. This one is 20 tons and 4 tons of mechanical components, and this one is 15 tons. We're going to build them one at a time, just so that we can keep everything focused, and then we can get that connected. I'm pretty like the idea of a, but the trouble is we're going to build prefabs. What we really need is a cement plant as well. But if we're going to get a cement plant, I mean, how much money is it costing me to import cement? Probably not a lot, really. We're not, I mean, cement isn't that expensive because we're not using it. I mean, it goes quite a long way. Yeah, I mean, we got what, 8 tons of cement in there. We've got 6 tons of bitumen. I mean, I could make some bitumen. Can we make bitumen? That could be useful. That would be another way to cut our costs down. What do we need to make bitumen? Wood pitch extraction. We get 3 tons of bitumen from that. I think maybe we could put in a bitumen extraction plant then. Well, that could work. I mean, that would cut my costs down. Yeah, I mean, if we put, let's say we put that in there, and the only problem is going to be workers. So bring you down into there. I think I'm going to leave the footpath for the moment until we got this built in. I think if we can get this bitumen plant up and running, what that could do is that could then offset some of these costs as well. I think this is the way I've got to look at it, is because we're running at just so low levels of money, but what I need to do is look at anything that will kind of cut my costs at the same time, I can say, and other ways of making money. So we got 600 there. Right, we're down to the last field here, and because we got the trucks picking up now, and I think what we could do now is get you to load for the winter, so that you can start moving the crops from here to the various locations to keep them full up. How we got here? We're back to 20 tons, so I must have been topping up a gas station somewhere. So we're looking good. This is slowly filling in. You're still working on the groundworks. How about you? You need... I don't think this needs that much steel, so I think we'll let them compete on the steel level. Kind of running out of things to say. That's a population. Yeah. We're still getting escapees. I don't understand why we got... There must be something that's making these people unhappy. Let me just see. I think part of the problem is the quality of the housing. I think if I had more money, I would... I mean, how much money are we making from meat? I mean, meat is quite a big kind of export. I get a small, what we call it, truck. It comes the winter. Refrigeration. We've got a cheap one here that does 1.5 tons of meat. Let me just... How are you doing? You're still going. I can find a... What colour are you? You're blue. So if we pick you up, make sure you're in the... I'm going to send you to... Oops, I don't want to call the vehicle home. What we're going to do is send you to there, and we're going to send you to back to there. I've just messed up. Yeah, I think we... So we're okay. We're not going to build much more out here, because getting 50 tons of gravel out there is going to be a little bit difficult. So we're going to concentrate on winter jobs. I think we're just going to get the last of our crops from here. Of course, we've got no ability to recruit snowplows at the moment, except for this very expensive bat, wherever it is, which is quite slow. So I don't really want to use that. So not having snowplows is a little bit of fun as well. Okay, let me just see. At the moment, we've got... I think, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was thinking about... I think we are going to get a refrigeration truck. We're just going to get a very cheap one. I don't think that's... Get an icebox truck. Yeah, we're going to go absolutely low budget. And then what we're going to do is you're going to pick up from here meat, and then deliver to here and wait until unloaded. I think if we get like a little bit of meat going into here, that will make these a little bit happier, because a lot of them are complaining that they don't have meat. So I think if we can get them kind of working, my single what we call it is going there. We need to put some trees down. I'll just plant some more trees in this area. Need to keep this area, these areas really fully populated with trees. Through there. How's the logs here? Got a nice big supply of logs here, which if we can get them over to our heating plant. We got a little bit of board production coming from here. But this wood cutting post is a little bit of a kind of disappointment. It's not really producing the amounts of logs that I was hoping it would. I don't really want to put a second one in here because we've already got an overlap here. I'm not sure I could get a footpath through here. So what we might, in fact, I think what I'm doing, considering the number of workforce we're sending out here, I think what I might do is drive this with a, I've forgotten what it's called, a separate bus. Sorry, frame faded a little bit there. Yeah, we've got a heating problem. Right, we've got some people moving in there. I don't want you in there. Got 15 people. You move out of there. I don't want you in my... This is summer accommodation, not winter accommodation. I think we're going to try and keep as many people happy as possible. I'm going to try and move everybody out. And hopefully that will kind of keep everybody happy. Because there'll be no demand on this here. I know it seems a bit of a waste of all these buildings that I've built, but eventually we will be using them. It's just that it's going to take a little while for them to get used. Let me just see. I suppose it's going to take a little while for the wagon to get up here. Here he is. Nope. Oh, there's the steel truck. What are you delivering to? Right, you're delivering. Here he comes. It's causing a little bit of chaos, but yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll tell you to wait until loaded, and then we'll get a tiny amount of meat into here, and that might lift the population a little bit and slow down these escapees, because the people will be a little bit more happier. Health wise, everyone is okay. Food is brilliant. Clothes is brilliant. So it is the happiness that's dragging everybody down a little bit. So I think if we can afford to kind of deposit 1 ton of meat here into this area here, I mean, it will kind of cause a bit of a problem, and the meat probably won't last that long, but let's have a look at the education wise. Let's have a look round. What's causing the problems? Meat. Meat is the big one. Yeah. So what we're going to do is give them meat for winter. He's got the other refrigeration truck there. You get there. You will get there, guys. The other thing I wouldn't mind doing is probably improving some of these footpaths through here as well. A little bit of road through here, but I don't really feel the need to. I mean, I suppose I could fill them in a little bit, but I think I'll do that during the summer, because if we just start diverting the buses away from this here. Okay, how are we doing? Wow. Okay, they've actually got a little bit of a scoot on and built that. So, okay, maybe we do need to. Where is it? We'll work on this one here now. and just allocate the two. A little bit of a risk, but I think we just got to try and push a little bit hard. What have you guys got? You've got unfinished road, unfinished factory connection. So we just need to let these guys catch up. Workers, yeah. Of course, it's winter and everything. Wait. Wow, did you consume all that? Oh, because it's 2 tons. Okay, so this is going to cheer up a few people. I'm wondering whether if I could get another farm in here. And we could put one on this side. Or, I mean, there's not much that goes out this way, isn't it? I'm just wondering if I can improve the meat production a little bit. And say we put another farm on this side. So that might impinge on that. I think if we can just want to make everyone feel a little bit happier. I think this is the downside of having these buildings. You can see because the quality, this is 84, this is 72. I think what we really do need to do is think of maybe getting a few more people out of these residences. Though I do want to push the town down this way a bit. Let me just have a look at my. You know, it's not the way to do it. But I'm gonna come in here. What's the quality of the flats there is? I got anything that's got really good. We've got an old gate block here, but that is pretty big, and it. I mean, that would be 90%. We could kind of drop it in about there. When it does draw heat, but as far as I know, it actually doesn't need. In fact, we got here an old corner block. How about that then? Maybe if we could get a couple of these in. Say, if we put one in, say, there. Like that. What's the population here? 45 workers. I think if we push this up, yeah, that says it's out quite a long way, but I think it's the footprint, isn't it, that goes to there. Yeah, so it's actually there, it's just got a very big footprint. And I think what we'll do is we'll get that allocated to there, like that. If we get this put in here on this corner, then we can remove this one and still have people within kind of walking range of the biofuel. Okay, let me just. The thing I need to do is flip this one below from grain storage as well. We're just trundling along now at just about 30,000. So possibly we're using a little bit of meat improve our happiness here. You can see the meat is already making a difference now. It's making people a bit happier, and what that should do is reduce these escapees, and we'll start to build the population back up again. Because I do need some population. Yeah, if we can get this built, we can get a little bit of an outflow here. And then I know technically we'll lose the logs that go from here to here, but we can always fix that with a little wagon that can go up and deliver to here, so that we can keep the bitumen plant full up. And the wagon running round here by itself will be no problem. We could run the road all the way round or something like that. We can just use the overflow. The alternative is that this can build up and be used to try and sort this heating out. Although I think the best long-term solution is still having coal-fired heating here. I mean, I think if I can build this area up here as the town, I don't really want to get the town any further out than that, because we are getting closer to this industry. Let's look at the gravel production. Right, it looks like I think we're getting a bit of a problem with the gravel. Probably could do with some, yeah, with the trouble is we're in winter. I actually need some more gravel trucks, but I don't think I've got anything that's really any good at the moment. Let's see. Dumpers. Now you can see the only dumpers I've got available at the moment are there. I'm probably going to regret saying this, but I'm actually looking forward to getting access to the Praga trucks, because I think they've got, at least they've got a bit more carry capacity. Let me see, how's this road going out here? We need 3.4 tons of gravel. Then this will be finished, and then I can, in the next cycle, we can start to plan our town here. Although probably what we'll do is we'll run a road from here directly up to there and get things done. I need railways, I need all sorts of things, and above all I need cash. Let me just see. So this is down to 200 tons. You've got 375. You've got 700. So I think we're, crop-wise, we are starting to look good. I'm kind of half tempted to add another field. We've got two here, which are effectively on this side here. Actually, let me just, I'm going to rename this expansion field 1. Actually, I'll call you 2 because that's that one. And for you, expansion field 1, and then probably this or that one. Actually, because you'd have to come all the way round to there. I think we'll call you expansion field. And we'll add you to the list as well. So I know I'm pushing my luck a little bit, but I feel that I need to do it if we're going to make progress. We're going to get to 1960 and we'll still be looking at the same map. I suppose the top tip, if you start prior to 1960, you need a lot of patience, a vast amount of patience, to be honest. Yeah, this is being built in here. If we get that accommodation running as well, I do really feel the need for another field, but I think I'm going to wait until the snow goes away so we can actually plan where these fields are. I think if I can get a couple more livestock farms, get fields going, although we'd have to move the livestock because I can't connect them out again. I could take this out, but then that would cut off the road connection going up that way. I don't think that would work either. Yeah, let me just see. How's the steel mill going? What are we doing? Yeah, we're kind of struggling for coal with respect to getting this delivered, and I think that's holding up the building process. Yeah, we need mechanical components and steel. a little bit of steel going there. In fact, I think I've made a mistake there. I'm just going to suspend that. And we're going to concentrate on one on time again. And yeah, mechanical components and steel. So we're just going to have to grind through this. Heating problem, yes. That means someone is moved into here. Wait, can't you people... stay out of these buildings for the moment until I've sorted the heating problem out. Yeah. I mean, strictly speaking, if I can keep them out, do I actually need this heating plant? What I'm going to do is just shut the heating down, and then where's mine? Yeah, we're in January. I can find that truck. You should be here somewhere. Where are you? Right, we'll get you to drop off a pile of logs here. And your job is to go back to... yeah, what we're going to do is shut the heating off for the summer and then rely on these buildings to take the surplus population and keep people out of these buildings here until we actually need them. And what I could do is build up a kind of supply of logs in here, which will, and that will also drive our board industry as well. I think that might work. Actually, I don't really want to import more coal because I can't afford to buy the vehicles to keep bringing in more and more resources, so our exports won't support it. Kind of part of me says let's build that. I think what we will do is I'm gonna build another wind turbine there. I mean, it's not going to cost that much to build. It is going to be that. That's going to be steel and components. Sorry. Yeah, I'm kind of a bit of a roadblock here now. Right. This road is finished. So this is where we're going to be working on in the next part. Planning our town here. And this is going to be a town without heating until I can actually produce the heating from this coal mine here. Actually, I've just had a thought. How much? This is going to need 74 tons. Let me just pause. Sorry about this. We've got 74 tons of steel. I've just had a thought. I've just had a thought. If I go to the mods and mining, we do have a tiny coal mine here. This is going to be... this produces 4.2 tons of coal and has a storage of 5 tons. Let me just see. Okay, let me just do an experiment. I mean, this is only planning position anyway. If we come into here, see, this would be 92%, but it would only produce 4.2 tons of coal. This produces 42. So what this mine produces a 4.2 tons of coal per worker as a thing. And tiny woodcutter. Let me just... what I'm looking at is possibly... this has got 20 workers and it's going to be 14 tons of steel. This is 26 tons of steel. The base one is... to build this is going to take 74 tons of steel. I think what I'm going to have to do is we're going to come here and tiny coal mine there. I don't know why I've got it duplicated twice. So the production, this one, the production is only 4 tons for 20 workers. I think what we're going to do is we're going to put a small coal mine in here, but we're going to try and bring it a little bit kind of closer in. Maybe we can get it down to say what I'm looking at is to get it closer to that road. We may have to sacrifice some. I think if I can get to about 90%. They actually, we go that way a little bit. Yeah, I think we gonna put you there. That brings you a bit closer to that road, and the smaller mine will mean we'll need less resources to build it. So we're just going to put there. I'm aware time is pushing on, so we're just going to have one quick run round and see how things are going. I certainly would like to get this finished. We've got the as the factory connections come. There's 81 tons of steel. I certainly would like to get this built because we're going to start expanding this. We're going to need that extra capacity. And we'll have this to do the storage and all that. How are you? You've got the connections now, so we can add you to here. Build that. And you only need 5.8 tons of steel, which isn't too bad. We'd really like to get that finished. Over here, we've got the wood patch. This is still being built as well, but it's nearly there. It's 70.72 tons of steel. Not steel, gravel. I think what I'm going to leave that factory connection for the moment, and then of course the big one is trying to get these finished. I've kind of messed things up a little bit here with respect to what I was doing, but I think this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting, and until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.